Well, I'm going to complete practice activity 1B on page 24 of our text. Well, 24 through, I believe, 30. Actually, through 32. And I'm going to go to my applications menu. I'm going to click on the C. I'll choose to open a drawing. I'm going to go to my drawings folder. I'm going to select the introduction drawing, and I'll open that. With my tool space available in the column at the left, I'm going to take a look at the Prospector tab. The Prospector tab is where I'll find the different groups of objects grouped together by category. You'll notice I have surfaces. I have a series of surfaces, and within them I can expand, open and close each object type to view all of the individual components. And then in this particular example right now, I'm looking at alignments. If you think of an alignment, think of it as a center line of a road. When we look at it at a drawing, that's what we see. In this case, I've got center line alignments for 3 roads: Ascent Place, Jeffries Ranch Road, and Mission Avenue. And I can highlight any one of those, expand it, look at all of the components of that object type. Then I can expand and look at all of my objects. There are certain types of objects, for example points, that when I select it, there really isn't a plus there that I can expand it. Point data is survey data that's imported. It's collected out in the field and it's uploaded into our software. When I select my points and it's highlighted, you'll notice in the lower left hand corner in the preview area I have the list of points. So I have my point numbers, I have my locations, my coordinates, I have any marker information, any label information, all of the data the survey crew collected, and of course the elevations for those points. So that is there, but it can't be expanded by clicking on a plus. We have to actually select the object type, and then we'll see the data displayed in the preview below our tool space. So right now I'm going to look at my surfaces group. When I expand my surfaces, I see I have 3 groups. When I expand my ex-topo, I'll see that I have masks, watersheds, and definition. I'm going to expand my definition, and I'm looking for break lines. I'll expand break lines. I'm going to select the ridge. I'll right-click on the ridge. That gets me a shortcut menu where I can zoom to that particular object. So that's what we've just zoomed to now. Now that I've zoomed to the ridge, I'm going to go back up to my point groups. I'm going to expand that. I'm going to go to look at my boundary pin survey. And within the boundary pin survey, there's 2 points that we're interested in. We're interested in point number 2, which I've clicked on to select in the preview area. If I hold down my shift key, I'll be able to select another point. The 2 of them are selected together. When I right click, I get this shortcut menu, and I'll zoom to those 2 points. So even though I'm not displaying a point reference in this view, the software has zoomed right to those 2 points. All right, once I've done that now, let's take a look at our tool space settings. So I'll go to the Settings tab, and I'm going to go up to the very top where I have the drawing's name. I'm going to select that. I'll right click, and I'll have the option to edit the drawing settings. And this is where I can get into customizing my scale, my zone. Obviously, for a project like this, it's rather large. Typically, they're very expensive. They're time consuming. Typically, when you have a coordinate system and a state or a region selected, it doesn't change often, but it is entirely possible that at some point it could change. So this is where we would go to do that. Right now I'm going to adjust my scale where it was 1 inch equals 60 feet. I'm going to change that to 1 inch equals 40 feet. If you click the little drop down for locations, you'll see you've got all 50 states and quite a few countries there. Large civil firms work all over the world. Different companies have locations all over the world, all over the United States. From time to time, plans are changed, drawings are modified, and the region has to be changed. So I have no intention of changing this, but even within California, you'll see we have many available coordinate systems. So, all right, having done that, I'm going to click OK. Now, speaking of zones and scale, right now we set our drawing scale to be at a scale of 1 inch equals 40 feet. If we look down in our lower right hand corner, we'll see we have a scale for model space. We can adjust this here and very quickly change our scale. So you can change scale here as well. Your text and your labels, the station points, they are annotative, and you'll notice that as I adjust the scale, the size and scale of the text is automatically modified so that it's suitable for that scale. So that is annotative. Let's go back to the larger scale and you can see what that does. So labels will always be visible. All right, having done that, let's go, I'm going to actually scroll on out. I just zoomed on out just to demonstrate what I'm going to do. I'm going to modify a surface property. So I'm going to select, in this case I just clicked on a topographical line. When I do that, I have the contextual tab pop up at the right. So in this case I have my surface and my geolocation objects and commands available. If I click on surface properties, I get the information, existing site, I get surface styles. So looking at what is here, we're showing contour lines at 2 feet and 10 feet intervals. What that means is at elevation changes, 2 feet, I have one type of line, and at 10 feet I have another type of line. Let's see what that looks like if we go to 5 and 25. There should be less dense, fewer topographical lines. I'm going to undo that, but this is where we can change our surface spacing for our topographical mapping. So we select an object, the contextual tab becomes available, we can click on surface properties, and we can adjust our style. Okay. All right, having done that, let's take a look at our report. So we're going to go to the Toolbox tab. We click on the Toolbox tab, it takes us to our Reports Manager. And here we can get into our report settings. From this space, from the Toolbox space, if you click on the Toolbox icon at the far left, you'll get the report settings, and this is where you can customize it. In this particular case, I'm going to click on the client. I can highlight the contact. I can put in the client's name. Let's see. Let's go into owner. I'm going to go expand the preparer. In this case, I have Mary Smith, uppercase font. This is where I could make it sentence case or lowercase or proper case. The company, I put in Waubonsie Community College. Of course, for your assignments, you should use your name and Waubonsie Community College. But this is where you customize all of those fields. State, country, email address, contact information. This is where that goes. Having done that, let's choose the type of report. So if we go to the Reports Manager, you see there's a category called Alignment. Let's expand Alignment, and we'll choose the PI Station report. We'll right-click and let's select Execute. So by default, our report will include all 3 of the alignments in this project, and that's fine. We want to include them. We'll click Create Report, and it will open and it will give us the information for each of the 3 alignments. We have our report there. You'll notice the client information is just as I added it to my report. I'm going to close out of that right now. Click Done here. Let's take another look at different options for report. Let's go to our surface collection and let's select surface report. Let's right click and execute. Different report, a lot of different information. I can uncheck any of these object types if I want to exclude that information. We're going to leave it as it is. I'm going to click OK. It's by default going to give me an Excel format file. I'm going to name this intro data. Save it and it will give me an Excel file.